3.01 additions and deletions. Dr. Lake, do we have any changes to the agenda?
We do not.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, I would like to invite our students from Early Childhood and Truman Middle, as well as any other students that might be with us tonight, to come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We might need you to come to every meeting and do that for us. That was awesome. Okay, 4.0 special recognitions and learning report and student representative report. Tonight we have both ECE and Truman Middle School here for recognitions and learning reports. We will begin with ECE with Miss Caitlin McGovern.
All right, hello everyone. We are delighted to celebrate some of our pre-K students who are heading to some of our Lindbergh schools. Originally, we had one representative for every school, but a few couldn't make it tonight. So I'll just go with the 4 that we do have. So the first is Maxwell. He is heading to Crestwood. Maxwell, you can come up over here. Maxwell is kind and patient and kind friend to everyone. He's an enthusiastic participant and loves to be challenged. He cares about our classroom and school and takes pride in keeping our environment clean and safe. He leads by example. Recently, he saw chalk drawings on our playground structure and he asked a rag to clean it off. And several of his friends agreed that it was a problem and joined him in fixing the problem. Good job, Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Crestwood. All right, next up is Bodie. Bodie, come on up. Bodie is heading to Concord. He's a friendly. Bodie is friendly and inclusive to everyone in the Bluebird room. He is always eager to help out, and he includes others. We also are so lucky to have him as part of our Bluebird family. Good job, Bodie.
Bodie. Congratulations.
Yeah, right?
Good job. So we have a certificate recognizing you as Student Spotlight. Congratulations. Take that. That's yours. All right. Hang on. We got one more thing for you. We got a backpack for you as well. All right. And then in a second, I'm going to call you back up here and we're going to do a group picture. You go on back out there. You go on back out there and we'll call you all back up.
Then we have Emma. She is heading to Long. Emma, come on up. Emma is cheerful and eager learner who brings excitement to everything she does. She loves learning, especially when she can express her creativity through drawing, singing, and dramatic play. Whether she's imagining new stories or creating colorful art, her enthusiasm shines. She cares deeply about her friends and shows kindness to everyone around her, making our classroom and school a brighter, happier place. Good job, Emma. All right. Georgia is next. Georgia, come on up. Georgia is heading to Kennerly. She brings such a bright and happy energy to our days, always greeting others with a smile and finding joy in every activity. She is a smart and curious learner who asks great questions and loves to share new ideas. What really stands out is how helpful and kind you are, Georgia. Whether she's offering to clean up, share materials, or comforting her friends, she's thoughtful in every action she has. Good job, Georgia.
All right, Georgia. Congratulations. Here's a certificate recognizing you as a Spotlight student. And here is a backpack. And now I'm going to ask your friend.
One more, and then yes. Yep.
One more.
And last is Emerson, and Emerson is heading to Dressel. Emerson is such a good friend to those around her and treats others with kindness. She is always willing to help anyone who needs cheering up or a friend to play with. She is creative and proud to tell her friends and teachers about her work. Good job.
Recognizing you as a Spotlight student. And here is a backpack for you. Your first one, maybe, that says Lindbergh on it. She wants me to tell you all you're funny. All right, come on up here. Let's get a picture. Come on back up here. Come on back up here. Get a picture. You guys are the best. You need to come everywhere. Come on up here. Slide over here, girl. All right, we're gonna do this. Awesome. Congratulations, guys. All right.
Thanks, Zach. All right, so now we have our Teacher of the Year, Colleen Kubiak. Come on up. Colleen has been a dedicated special education in Lindbergh teacher for the past 12 years. During that time, she has made a lasting impact on students, families, and colleagues. Colleen consistently goes above and beyond to support those around her and has taken a leadership role as a valued member of our building leadership team. She has also contributed her expertise to curriculum writing, helping to shape meaningful and developmentally appropriate learning experiences for all of her students. Colleen is deeply committed to fostering student independence and believes strongly in the power of learning through play. As a mentor to new staff, she generously shares her experiences and compassion to support their growth. Her kindness, professionalism, and unwavering dedication to our school community make her an exceptional educator and a true asset to our team and school.
Colleen, congratulations. We have a certificate recognizing you as Teacher of the Year and then a $30 gift certificate to our online spirit store. So congratulations. And we're going to do a picture. We're gonna do a
And then our support staff person of the year is Abby Keller. Abby Keller is the dedicated classroom facilitator in our Dragonfly room, serving our energetic 2- and 3-year-olds with care and compassion. A strong leader and collaborator, Abby brings purpose, positivity, and commitment to her students and team every day. Her voice shines in facilitator meetings, and her work on the social committee fosters connection and joy among staff. She completed our 6-week restorative practices cohort, and her daily interactions reflect that training, modeling empathy, respect, and strong relationships. Abby also leads with creativity and enthusiasm as a summer camp classroom lead. Her partner teacher shared that Abby is one of the kindest and most thoughtful people I know. She has a way of making everyone feel welcome, whether they're new to the team or just dropping into the classroom. She checks in on people when they're not feeling their best and is always ready to help out whenever someone needs a hand. The kids and their families really love her, and I feel lucky to get to work with her every day. She truly makes our team stronger, and I'm so grateful for everything she brings to our classroom.
we do have a certificate recognizing you as Support Staff Person of the Year and also a $30 gift certificate to our online spirit store. We're going Is she doing her presentation? Yes.
All right, so now our learning report. In my first year as principal, I've often heard it looks different at early childhood, and it truly does. While our approach may differ from other schools, it strongly reflects Lindbergh's vision and values, especially in laying the foundation for lifelong learning. One key area is student growth, particularly in social emotional learning, which is central to early childhood education. In our first trimester, we primarily focus on skills like problem solving, self-control, collaboration, and confidence. These are intentionally taught, modeled, and monitored daily. Teachers track SEL progress, design integrated lessons, and meet in teams to plan next steps. On the screen, you'll see the core SEL skills guiding our work, as well as snapshots of our MTSS process, showing how teams use data to support each other or each learner. Currently, SEL tracking is individualized, but we've created developmental proficiency skills for ages 2 to 5 to support alignment. Next year, with tools like Infinite Campus and EduClimber, we'll enhance data collection and deepen our student-centered practices. This work builds a strong foundation for Lindbergh's district-wide goals of student growth, well-being, and lifelong success. Next slide. As I shared, social emotional learning is at the core of early childhood education and closely aligns with the Lindbergh success skills. For our students, these skills come to life through hands-on experiences. A highlight this year was our first ever trunk or treat event, celebrating Lindbergh's 75th anniversary. Instead of staff leading, students took charge designing and creating trunks in their classrooms. Through this, they practiced collaboration, planning, communication, and creativity while sharing their work with over 850 guests. The feedback from families and community members was overwhelmingly positive. Also pictured are our annual food drives and our annual coat drive. The students collected 27 bags of winter gear and exceeded their goal of 100 canned items per classroom. These projects supported academic skills like counting and measurement, while also fostering empathy and community awareness. These experiences reflect our youngest learners are already living the values we hope to see throughout their educational journey. If you haven't yet had the chance to visit our classrooms at the Center or West, I warmly invite you to see the great things happening in our classrooms. Our student-centered approach is rooted in constructivist philosophy, where learning happens through active exploration, hands-on experiences, and meaningful relationships. Children construct knowledge through play, inquiry, and interactions with their environment, guided by educators who nurture curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking. Students also build pre-academic skills aligned with elementary standards, but through meaningful action and play. Teachers design engaging, interest-driven experiences that are deepened through questioning, listening, and building on students' natural curiosity. Our inclusive integrated curriculum supports multimodal learning and reflects how children naturally make sense of the world around them. Our educators engage in weekly PLCs, contribute meaningfully to our MTS process, track student growth, plan responsive activities, and adapt instruction in real time based on student interest. They are experts in child development and exemplify what it means to be lifelong learners, always seeking to bring the best possible instruction to our youngest students. Student satisfaction at early childhood looks different but is deeply evident. While we don't collect traditional survey data from our young learners, their joy, comfort, and sense of belonging are visible in every classroom. Student satisfaction for us is measured through their willingness to try new and challenging things, their freedom to express themselves, their joyful engagement with peers and staff, and their love for being at school. During Staff Appreciation Week, families shared heartfelt notes, many written from the child's perspective, demonstrating the deep connection students have with their teachers and also the school. We also gathered valuable information or feedback in December. Parents overwhelmingly expressed appreciation of the high-quality, developmentally appropriate programming, compassionate and certified staff, low student-to-teacher ratios, and strong emphasis on social-emotional learning. Families also highlighted the inclusive, play-based approach, secure and clean facilities, flexible scheduling, and alignment with Lindbergh's elementary programs as key strengths. Above all, they also described ECE as joyful, welcoming community where children feel safe, loved, and inspired to learn, affirming that student satisfaction at ECE is both heartfelt and profound. Personalized learning is at the core of instruction at Lindbergh Early Childhood. Our classrooms are designed around students' interests, strengths, and developmental needs. You might walk into a flower shop, a beauty salon, McDonald's drive-thru, or even a car wash. Not just play areas, but intentional standards-based environments that support cognitive and social emotional growth. On the screen, you'll see this approach in action. In one pre-K class, students studied Eric Carle, created their own caterpillar books, and illustrated the butterfly life cycle using his collage technique. Others observed live caterpillars connecting science to their real-world experiences. In another class, students had the opportunity to choose an animal to research. They did research for facts, wrote a book, and created a habitat to reflect their learning. This empowered students to learn more about something that they were interested in and allowed them to take ownership of that learning. Dramatic play is another key area of personalized learning at ECE. Many classes begin with the Wonder Wall, where students suggest themes. For example, in a post office room, students planned, gathered materials, and helped create the space, fully engaging in the learning process. These student-driven experiences, guided by teachers, empower our learners to take ownership and make meaningful connections. As you can see, it's been an incredibly full and meaningful year at ECE. Our days are rich with joy, purposeful play, and intentional instruction. I'm honored to speak on behalf of our dedicated staff and our amazing students, but truly I'm just one voice among many. I warmly invite each of you to visit our classrooms and see this remarkable work firsthand. Thank you for your time and continued support. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
So usually we don't have two schools in a board meeting like this. And just because of our wonderful young learners, we're going to go ahead and dismiss you all and let Truman do theirs so you don't have to sit here with them. If you want to stay for Truman's presentation, feel free, but that is up to you guys. So we will go there. Mike Strotman, you are up. Good luck. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to the board for partnering me with ECE. And thank you to Caitlin for making this a lot more difficult. Good job. Is this good volume? Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I get the privilege tonight to talk about Truman Middle School, and I always want to thank you as the board for allowing us to do that. We get to speak to you tonight about some of our amazing students and staff. I'm going to start with our students. I want to highlight, too, that the fact that our students are products of our K-8 schools, which is equally as impressive because we alone did not develop these young kids. So we'll start with Grace Lettner. Come on up here. All right, Grace. So Grace is absolutely one of our most remarkable students. She is a natural leader. She's admired by both peers and teachers in our school for her integrity, empathy, and quiet strength. She leads by example, balancing confidence with integrity, humility, and positive attitude, generosity, and dedication. She's a really hard worker, whether she's guiding her classmates as a flight crew leader or striving for academic excellence. Grace consistently uplifts those around her with kindness and purpose. Her genuine character, strong work ethic, and ability to connect with others makes her a standout role model at Truman and someone destined for success at the high school. So I was just talking to her about her classes next year, and she's thrilled to be able to give to the high school because of her leadership, but she's going to be a gift to them as well. So thank you, Grace.
Next, we have a certificate recognizing you as Student of the Month. There's that. Congratulations. And you can never have enough Lindbergh t-shirts. So there you go. And we're going to do a quick picture. Let's do that. Here, about right here.
Thank you, Grace. I also want to thank her parents, Rob and Christy, and grandparents are here as well, and brother and sister. So thank you, guys. Our next student, George Bowl, come on up. George is here tonight with his parents, Andy and Katie, and siblings as well. So George is a well-rounded and dedicated student who demonstrates respect, responsibility, and a strong work ethic. He excels academically while successfully balancing a wide range of extracurricular activities, including sports, orchestra, and band. And we all know the demands of all of those individually. So, known for his kindness, positivity, and leadership, George actively participates in class, asks thoughtful questions, and treats everyone with fairness. His ability to thrive in multiple areas while remaining humble and engaged makes him a standout member of our school community. Congratulations, George.
Congratulations. Again, we have a certificate recognizing you as Student of the Month, and once again, we have a t-shirt for you as well. So congratulations. We have no picture there. There you go.
Our building is filled with amazing staff, and I'm not just saying that. There are some amazing teachers and support staff. I'm going to start by talking about our 2024 Teacher of the Year, Jody Jankerson. Come on up. Jody is here with her mom, Ann, tonight, who I got to sit next to. She's a wonderful lady, too, and now I know why Jody's so awesome. Jody Jankerson is a compassionate, dedicated, and highly effective educator whose impact is deeply felt by both students and colleagues at Truman Middle School. Known for her empathy, patience, and unwavering commitment to student success, Jody creates engaging, hands-on science lessons that make both learning fun and meaningful. She builds strong relationships with her students, often maintaining connections long after they leave her class, and supports them academically and personally. As a collaborative and proactive team member, she plays a key leadership role in our curriculum development, standards-based grading, and professional learning. Jody's positivity, innovation, and genuine care for others make her a role model and a deserving nominee for Teacher of the Year. Thank you, Jody.
Jody, congratulations. We have a certificate recognizing you as Teacher of the Year and $30 to the Online Spirit. Let's do a quick picture.
Okay.
Last but not least is our Support Staff Person of the Year for 2024, Mrs. Jody Avery. Jody's been so wonderful for a long time at Truman until she retired. That happened in December, so we were lucky to be able to get her between her trips probably. So Jody has an amazing ability that goes unnoticed by some, but is noticed by so many of our guests or staff in the building. She has an amazing ability. She has the Fred factor, if you've ever read the book. She can remember people, their names, and everything about them, and it makes them just feel welcome, and it makes them leaving our building always feeling good about themselves. So she has an awesome ability at that. I wish I had half of that. But Jody has been a vital and beloved member of our Truman Middle School community, known for her incredible work ethic, adaptability, and warm personality. She juggles numerous responsibilities with grace and humor, supporting both staff and students in countless ways. From managing student services and technology needs to stepping up during staffing transition, Jody builds strong, meaningful relationships, especially with students who seek her out for their support and encouragement. Her positivity, patience, and dedication to doing what's best for others make her the heart of our school, and now you know why we're missing her, and truly deserving recipient of our 2024 Support Staff Person of the Year.
Congratulations, Jody. We have a certificate recognizing you as Support Staff Person of the Year, and then I know you're retired, but you never have too much swag. That's right. $30 gift certificate for the online store. So let's take a quick picture. Congratulations.
I want to thank her husband, Kevin, for coming tonight to support her as well. So, all right. So thanks again for allowing me to talk. I have, I think, 6 slides here. I want to start off with student growth and achievement. So obviously, schools, every school that you'll walk into, they have data that they're working with and things like that. One thing we've really prioritized this school year is incorporating reflection into goal setting and data that students look at of their own. It really transforms new data into meaningful action, and that has been our goal. Some of the other benefits that we have noticed is it increases ownership, active participants in learning. It's driven professional or personalized learning, so targeted and small group instruction. Promoting a growth mindset in our students. There are a lot of obstacles in play for our students these days, and limiting themselves is one huge obstacle, so really trying to train them to look for the positive things and build resilience. Encouraging a cycle of continuous improvement, so it's okay to make mistakes. We preach that with our students as well, our staff as well, like try something new. If you make a mistake, it's okay. We'll learn from it and move on in a positive manner. It also just fosters accountability for the high expectations that we do have for our students. Next slide, please. So utilizing the norm referenced assessments like NWEA as an example, students are allowed to compare their scores to national scores, which does help give them some additional perspective. We also have experienced success with the implementation of proficiency scales as part of standards-based learning as another form of feedback on assessments used in the classroom. Using the NWEA data along with classroom data, teachers experience success in providing meaningful feedback that leads to measurable growth. Next slide, please. So Lindbergh Life Success Skills, I want to highlight 2 things here. One is our Homegrown National Park Night. 6th grade science at Truman held their first night this year. We have been allowed to work with a Green Schools mentor, which has been extremely exciting and informative. That resulted in us winning a Green Schools Quest Community Impact Award this year. In late April, this product culminated in a native garden being planted on our campus. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner there, that's that picture. Everyone interested here tonight can come tomorrow morning at 10:30. We're receiving our recognition tomorrow in a presentation, so that'll be in the cafeteria at 10:30. Secondly, we've been really working as a district for universal field trips. Our 8th grade universal field trip to the Holocaust Museum really led our students to developing a new level of empathy. 8th grade teachers worked across disciplines to create an experience where students chose a topic, researched it, and curated an interactive museum exhibit in the bottom right-hand corner there, in conjunction with their field trip to the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum. Shortly after, students opened their own Museum of Impact to share their exhibits with their peers and adults in the school. So that was a really rewarding project that they put together with that. Next slide, please. All right, high quality teachers and employee well-being. Our students would not be able to achieve the levels that they do without our high quality teachers. And so we've really focused a lot on creating an intentional school culture where students are enjoying coming to school, but also have focused on staff satisfaction and well-being as well. We've been really intentional about creating opportunities for staff to have fun at school. I think Dr. Lake said it to me best in his first year here, and he won't remember this, but you can't be too cool for school was the comment. And I remember that all the time, to be honest with you. And it pushes me out of my comfort zone sometimes even. So overall, some of the examples you'll see in the top left-hand corner, that's Coach Crane. She was the winner of our Snowball Challenge. We did call it a snowball fight there for a while, really nothing involved with fighting. But Snowball Challenge, Halloween group costumes, holiday family photo contests, and we also intentionally created professional learning groups to blend our staff together in situations where they might not normally work together to foster relationships across content and grade level. These intentional actions have resulted in a very positive survey result for our staff survey. 93% of our staff enjoy coming to work. And as high as that number is, I'm thinking, well, who are those 7% that I need to talk to? 96% feel as though Truman is a positive learning environment, and 91% feel as though we do a good job of communicating and supporting the well-being of our employees. So those things make us very proud. I am going to go to the next slide. So this slide is very full for student satisfaction. I'll start with the top right-hand corner. Students in flight crew learned how to facilitate restorative conversations. This is year 2 for this activity where Dr. Mason comes over and trains our students. These are our flight crew students who also teach lessons to our students and facilitate those during flyer time. They put these skills and tools into practice as part of their flyer times that they lead. The goal of restorative practices is really to build strong, meaningful relationships within the community and repairing harm and restoring trust when actions are taken that are compromising that. In the middle, this data represents the continuous growth each year we've had with our panorama data for our students. 89% of our students feel as though they have supportive relationships at our school. This was growth from 85% 2 years ago and 87% last year, so that's a good trend, and we hope to continue to grow in that. Bottom right-hand corner, we took an opportunity, as a new student, if you've ever been a new student to a building, it's a very intimidating place to be, especially a middle school. So we take a lot of effort in having new student luncheons where we can connect them with a support network and also other new students that also feel kind of the way they do. One other activity in the top left-hand corner, that's an annual DOT activity that we do to ensure that teachers recognize the students in our school that need further connection in the building. So a teacher would go up and put a dot next to a student they feel like they have a relationship with. And when we have students that do not have very many of those, we want to make extra effort to make sure we connect there. Let's see, next slide. All right. Personalized learning. So all 4 of these slides have to do with building thinking classrooms. This is a comprehensive framework that we're implementing in many of our math classrooms. We're expanding each year, really transforming to more of a deep and transfer and student-centered learning. A couple of the key components really with this, you'll notice, you'll see the teacher in the top left-hand corner. One of the things that she is doing is monitoring what the students are doing because it's a student-centered problem solving, and we have adults overseeing that to make sure that those things are going the way we want them to. We do promote random groupings of these students so that we can get a little bit opportunity for everybody to lead and also provide input in a variety of ways. All of these things are done on their feet, as you can see, which is very non-traditional, but these vertical boards and spaces where students can move around and learn at the same time. Really just to highlight critical thinking more than anything. So what questions do you have for me? Awesome.
Well, I know I do have one. I was just looking to see if anybody else had one first. In your written report, you did note that you didn't quite meet the 80% goal for the NWA scores, but that you were going to try to focus on math. Can you just tell me a little bit more about what you're going to try to do there?
Yeah, I think math has been a challenge, and we've talked to other schools and districts about this. It is definitely a challenge. We're really looking at how do we, so when I talk about building thinking classrooms, that's another extended effort to try to do things a little differently for us. But we want to make sure that we're digging into how are we aligning the curriculum, assessments, and our standardized assessments to make sure that we're not missing something along the way. So that analysis is something that we're going to be doing coming up as an example. Yeah.
I was going to ask how everyone's feeling at school with the construction. How you feel like it's going from a building
normally with the construction, how they're feeling is, here's an example. We were in interviews today and we heard a loud drill and we just went, I warn everybody before we start the interviews too. You're not sure what you're going to hear or see, but no, it's been really seamless. I know BSI is the company we're working with there, and they've been awesome. Communication has been great. We've been working. They come with a great education mindset too, which has been awesome. Working in schools, they kind of know who to contact, and so we're in touch pretty much on a daily basis. I was telling Dr. Lake this morning, I'm doing walkthroughs just to make sure there's not a pile of something in the hallway and things like that in the mornings, just because we want to make sure kids are feeling safe. Kids are doing great with it. They're interested, and we try to, I've shown some of them some of the spaces from a little bit, in the hallways and things like that. So they're intrigued by it. And I also extended the opportunity for some parents to see it and that type of thing. But we're really excited about it. It's kind of a new thing for us, obviously, but it's been working out great. Yeah.
It's about ready to get really real. So,
Right.
because it's coming.
We're embracing it.
Fast
Our
and
theme
furious.
for the year is flexibility.
And you get to see me more often too. So I know you're excited about
that's been
that
the best
too.
part.
Yes.
That's been the best part. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Dr. Stratman. Next, we'll move to student representative report. It'll be given to us by Mr. R.J. Del Rosario. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is my last meeting with you guys all before the summer, so I apologize if I do seem a little tired. It's because I took 5 AP exams the past week. That's what's speaking, not me. Before I start, I want to call out Laura. She isn't here tonight, but she's done so much for the board in the past year, and with graduation approaching next week, I'm really sad to see her go. She's mentored me throughout the past year and answered my seemingly endless list of questions on exactly how to live up to her legacy in this role. Laura is so driven, she's so kind and empathetic, and I have no doubt that she's going to do great things. Speaking of seniors, as you guys all know, the senior class of 2025 graduates next week. So after many months of prep and many, many years of education, they're finally taking their next step in life. After talking to my friends, I realized they're taking tons of different paths, from traveling to colleges across the country, to gap years, to technical schools. I've heard it all. Many extracurriculars are also wrapping up their seasons, such as the band banquet I just attended last night, the orchestra picnic, or even ultimate Frisbee ceremonies that are all honoring the senior class. It may not be an official board update, but I think simply highlighting how important these seniors are and how much they've done for our community, as well as all the contributions they've made, with them, many of them being members of Lindbergh for over 13 years. I think that's a really strong testament to the bonds our community has built overall. However, after recent discussions with some of these seniors, I would like to advise that the board reconsider their policy on heritage wear, such as stoles during graduation. I know it may reduce confusion on awards to have these limitations in place, but I also know that Lindbergh strives to be a place where students can be proud to show their individuality. And on one of the most memorable days of the year, I believe that they do deserve the right to be able to show their heritage. Additional districts such as Webster Groves or Kirkwood also do allow certain heritage pieces, so I think with appropriate guidelines in place, it could be worked out very smoothly. So earlier this month, sophomore Marley Steiner was selected for the U19 United States national volleyball team. So being one of only 19 high school volleyball player girls across the country, Marley will train with the selected players in June and then will go on to Canada later that month to compete in the Pan American Cup. So Marley's friends all compliment her hard work and her dedication to the sport, saying she obviously does deserve the position, and she knows she has a really strong base of support here at Lindbergh and that she makes us really proud. This month has clearly been good for the Marleys of Lindbergh, as junior student Marley Boss received second place for her still life artwork in the 2025 Congressional Art Competition for Missouri 2nd District. So because of her outstanding performance, Marley's artwork will be hung on display in the U.S. Capitol up in D.C. in Congresswoman Ann Wagner's office for visitors, staff, dignitaries, all of that to view. I've had the pleasure of knowing Marley since elementary school, and I think her commitment to creative arts is truly impressive. She's a very hardworking individual, and the art piece featuring a camera and some inanimate objects is extremely well done, and is a good reflection of her commitment to the arts. Finally, our last Student Board Representative Advisory meeting took place last week at Truman. So this meeting had extended time. We went on for about an hour, so we were able to really cover a broad range of topics, as opposed to the usual ones where we would focus on one or two main points. So in this meeting, we had a period of reflection of the past year. We discussed our strengths and our weaknesses this year, and what teachers at Lindbergh here can do to help, such as more breaks, or how they relate and understand with the students, or just general lesson engagement. For the 8th graders, we talked about that transition to high school. I know it's very daunting for anyone who's going to be involved with that, and how Lindbergh has helped them identify classes or clubs that interest them, that might be involved with their careers, such as business, entrepreneurship, or medicine, stuff like that. I know the new AMPed algebra class that we're introducing next year is supposed to be really popular, so I'm excited to see how that turns out. My personal favorite was the Animal Science Club that we heard about at Truman, and at the meeting I was shown a couple of photos of this awesome goat named Mr. Pickles. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a photo tonight, but he was pretty awesome. Laura and I we kept asking for more and more. With the middle schoolers being more informed on digital literacy, additionally, we discussed the ways that they use AI inside of the classroom, maybe through exploring topics in math or grading Spanish prompts. This meeting felt very, very productive in general, and we had some natural leaders who discussed the ways that they were helping to make the school a better place with things like What I Need Time, which is essentially a middle school academic networking time where they can use it to plan for what they need. I was so glad to wrap up the SBRA report meetings for the year with such an amazing group of students, and we've begun the process for applicants next year. So hopefully we'll get that started up soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to consent resolutions. We have 2 this evening. They are resolution honoring the District Teachers of the Year and a resolution honoring the District Support Staff Persons of the Year. Do I have a motion to approve the consent resolutions as presented?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion by Andy and a second by Megan. Any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, 6.0, citizen communication regarding agenda items. At this time, the Board of Education will hear citizen comments regarding topics that are on tonight's agenda. When I call your name, please come forward, state your name, and the agenda item on which you wish to speak. Each person will have up to 3 minutes to speak. Rebecca Gordon-Jones.
Now it is. Okay. My name is Rebecca Gordon-Jones, and I'm a Spanish teacher at the high school and a parent of 2 Dressel students. And I love working at Lindbergh, and I have been at this district now for 15 years, and I really am passionate about making it a better place in any way I can see, and any gaps, and not only for my students, but of course for my 2 children. And today I'm speaking as a concerned parent who hopes to see some positive changes. I am hoping that there's a board-level discussion of the use of devices in our elementary and middle school classrooms. To give you some context, I am highly aware of the damage that some of these devices and apps can have on our children and young brains. My daughter has diagnosed anxiety and social anxiety. She obsesses about fitting in, her appearance, and feeling normal. Another common symptom is that she struggles with self-regulation and self-control. As her mom, I have done my due diligence to understand her and support her. And we understand after reading many articles and books, including The Anxious Generation, that she's unable to control the time and content she views online, specifically YouTube. We deleted YouTube from our home devices, got rid of our Alexa Echo Show, and do not plan on giving her a cell phone with internet access until at least high school. However, as a 5th grader, she began taking home her tablet to school, from school every day with the need to complete her math homework. I could explain to you how strict we are and the extremes we have gone through. To take her school-issued tablet to our bedroom every night, that we check securely to see what content she's viewing, but it is not enough. Her addiction to this advice has been an ongoing battle all year that, in my opinion, is not preparing her and her peers for success. I do not see the benefits of allowing children under 14 years old the opportunity to access this media under any circumstances without adult supervision. In addition to sneaking her device from our room or wherever she can find it, she regularly uses her tablet at school and periodically unsupervised, specifically, for example, during indoor recess. She chooses to watch videos that talk about dating, makeup tutorials that promote unhealthy beauty standards, and content that seems to exacerbate her already deep anxieties. While my personal situation does not reflect every household, as an educator, I see the everyday repercussions of getting students these devices unchecked. My students are more tired, harder to engage, and more anxious. It breaks my heart that other parents may not be aware or understand the long-term impact these devices have on their children, yet it makes me infinitely frustrated that I'm not able to protect my children from the devices that are distributed from the school. I request that the district consider a policy that reflects the growing research and data and limit student access to YouTube and other highly addictive online content throughout middle school and elementary. To be clear, this restriction will have no impact on classroom instruction. Teachers can share videos as a class, embed videos in presentations, and use Edpuzzle, for example. That's what I have to say, so thank you.
All right, thank you for coming in tonight and addressing the Board of Education. At this time, we will move to our communications. Calendar of events, Ms. Voss.
All right, calendar of events. This Saturday, May 17th, is the 75th anniversary Green and Gold Gallup Community 5K, for those of you who are athletically inclined. Pre-registration is required. Lindbergh High School seniors graduate on Wednesday, May 21st. We are all very excited to go see that. The last day of school is Friday, May 23rd, and is an early dismissal day. I know every student in the room knows that. The district is closed on Monday, May 26th for Memorial Day. Beginning Friday, June 6th, the district offices will be closed on Fridays throughout June and July. And we're back here for our board meeting on Tuesday, June 17th.
All right, thank you. At this time, we would like to report on, or I would like to have any board members report on any meetings they have attended.
I just have one thing to report. I attended the 6th grade design thinking presentation at Truman. And how is it with the construction? The kids are very well trained. When the drill goes or something happens, they know to be quiet, stop presenting or talking, and wait for the noise to go away. So it was kind of warm in the room too, but I know we can't do anything about that until later. But it was really neat because I went in Miss Cole's room and the students they were in like groups of 3 or 4, and they had presentations created. And the one group addressed the Board of Education. And so Dr. Stratman, I said, I think you can get this approved by Dr. Stratman. You don't have to go to the Board of Education. But they were topics around emotional wellness. And one of the suggestions, and they're going to write for a grant, is to have a bulletin board in the hallway, and they can walk up and put their emotions on it, and somebody can write nice things about those emotions to help support them. So it was a really neat project. Afterwards, I tried to connect FBLA from the high school to this group. The FBLA could go practice so the kids could see how to do presentations. So anyway, it was really neat. Thank you for inviting us.
I also went, I think this is the third year I've gone, and every single time I'm just so impressed by the students and just their thought processes and their ability to just present and all the skills that they're learning. And I just want to publicly apologize for the group of kiddos whose hearts I crushed when I told them that my concern about whether or not a bake sale would raise enough money to buy 3 buses was gonna work. It was just, but they were really great. So thanks for always allowing us to come.
Any others? Okay, great. We'll move on to announcements. Ms. Voss.
Okay, we have a really exciting announcement tonight. Continuing our success from last year, we have been recognized by St. Louis Community College. We have received the Most Money Saved Overall Reward, 2024-25. We have received the Most Dual Credits Most Dual Credit Students in 2024-25. And we also received recognitions for being a top district and the highest average savings per dual credit student and highest average saving per dual enrollment student. So this is really exciting that overall Lindbergh students have saved $1.877.88 million for our families. That is a lot of money for us to have saved. So I'm really proud of everybody for those programs. The board advisory committees are finishing up for the most part, except I think finance gets to keep going all year round. So thank you to all members who have served on one of the board advisory committees over the past 2 years. Your dedication, input, and advice have been extremely beneficial on issues that affect our district. And the board is excited to now welcome new members on our finance, student life, teaching and learning, technology, and a new committee that we're starting for communications in 2025. So there will be more information and applications available on the district website and emailed to all Lindbergh families next month. And then new members will be notified this summer.
Okay, we would also like to review upcoming board meetings and agendas. So Ms. Voss, back to you.
Okay, we will meet again on Tuesday, June 17th for our next Board of Education meeting. The meeting's tentative agenda items are our regular business items. A second reading of tonight's board policies, a resolution honoring our 2025 District Teacher of the Year, meal prices for 2025-26, student transportation services, final bus routes for the 24-25 school year, the 2025-26 tuition rate, and central office is scheduled to be here for recognitions. These meetings are open to the public and patrons are encouraged to attend.
Thank you. We will now watch the MSB board report. Colin.
Edition of the Missouri School Boards Association's board report. If you're a newly elected board member, welcome aboard. If you've been around a while, this time of year is your chance to keep growing with multiple training opportunities from MSBA's Leadership Development Team. MSBA's Leadership Development Associate Executive Director, Catherine Whitaker, says that new board member training is about more than just fulfilling those training hours.
So the first big thing is new board member training. That is something that is legally required. It's in state statute, 18 and a half hours, which is a lot of training, but I think that's good. It's really important. It's also a great way to make connections. We are an association for school board members, and then also get connected to other school board members who are serving for the first time as well.
During MSBA's Summer Summit, there will be a workshop just for school board presidents.
And so during that workshop, we're going to cover parliamentary procedure, which I think is great for anyone who's a new leader or someone who's vice president for the first time looking to be president at some point, just to know how to run meetings, because you may have to do it if the president's not there. We're also going to talk about how to onboard new board members during the workshop, and then also just talk about leadership as a board president in general. It's really hard to do that job, and I don't think we talk about it enough.
For all board members, Catherine says that there are some misconceptions about refresher training and when to take that.
So there's a common misconception about both kind of new board member training and refresher training, that somehow it lines up like with a calendar year or with the school year. But actually refresher training or board required training resets every election, so in April. And so the new board member training begins now. And so same with refresher training. Refresher training, the new one begins now for 25-26. And so even if you finished refresher training a month ago in March or 2 months ago in March, it's now time to go ahead and do the 25-26. You might as well knock it out now so you don't have to do it until the next election in April.
Catherine also says that as summer approaches, it's a great time for boards to engage in professional development.
So districts kind of take the summer off, or students get the summer off, but teachers actually do professional development, administrators do professional development. I believe school board members should also take the summer to do professional development. And having a summer retreat, I think, is totally valuable, especially if you have a new superintendent. Having that retreat with them in July to set expectations, you're onboarding a new employee. I think that's really important. But also you may have a new board or a new board member. And so getting you guys as tight as you can during the summer when it's a little less stressful will really help you all survive the ebbs and flows of the school year moving forward.
Visit the MSBA website for the dates and times for all of the training opportunities that Catherine mentioned. One of those opportunities will be during MSBA's Summer Summit in June. Make plans now to attend June 16th through the 18th in Branson at the exciting new venue for this year, the Hilton Branson Convention Center on the Landing. Join school board members and leaders from across Missouri to learn about emerging trends and hot topics in education. The summit's general session features Jean Becker, who was President George H.W. Bush's chief of staff for nearly 25 years. She's the editor of Pearls of Wisdom by Barbara Bush and the New York Times best-selling author of The Man I Knew. Her latest book is Character Matters and Other Life Lessons from George H.W. Bush. Also, be sure your board is represented at the June Delegate Assembly to be held in conjunction with the Summer Summit. Delegates will be electing state officers for the coming year at that meeting. Registration information for the Summer Summit is also posted on the MSBA website. And finally, if you follow MSBA's Facebook page, you may have seen that Neosho had a ribbon-cutting ceremony for a brand new state-of-the-art agricultural center on May 1st. Watch the Facebook page for that full story coming soon. Like and follow the MSBA page to see stories of the amazing things happening in Missouri's schools every day. That's it for this month. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and we'll see you in June for the next MSBA Board Report.
All right, thank you, Colin. We'll move on to special reports. Under this, we have cabinet updates. We'll start with Ms. Joelle Scheibel.
I'm going to have to defer to Dr. Lake for the Facility Advisory Committee this month. I was at Moasbo during that advisory committee, so I know they went over Prop R and things like that. Anything to report?
We basically updated the group on different projects that are going on in the district, the sale of the bonds and different things that are going on. We talked about the summer work and what we're going to try to get done, but it was just a good time just to kind of show the progress that we're making. So we've got a pretty fast cadence going right now.
Yes, we do.
We have 3 architects engaged, 2 contractors, or actually 3 contractors. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. So, but it's exciting times.
Yes. The Finance Committee met this week, as we do before the board meeting. We went over the financial statements. There was a lot of activity, so we had people out and about doing things with kids, which is what we expect our committee members to do because they're out in the buildings. At this point in May, we're kind of waiting and seeing how good our budget is going to end up. It's looking good right now. The revenue's coming in on target. We still have a large expenditure with our teacher payrolls. The teachers get 4 checks in June because they get paid for June, July, and August in June. So there'll be a large expenditure in June, but things are wrapping up nice and on budget.
Okay, Dr. Tara Sparks.
Student Life has not met. It wrapped up about a month ago. Teaching and Learning Board Advisory had its final meeting, and throughout the course of this year, the Teaching and Learning Board Advisory has been a feedback loop to our 8th through 12th grade standards-based learning task force. So at this last meeting, they were reviewing some of the brainstormed recommendations from the task force and giving feedback on that, and then we ultimately used their feedback for our final task force meeting that happened earlier this week.
Okay, Mr. Dominic Jaggi.
The Technology Board Advisory, we went over our technology goals and how their input helped us reorganize the Compass goals. We also looked at some feedback that they gave us on our AI policy. And then the last thing that we did is we looked at our 2019-2020 impact study that we did for the one-to-one. When we do our new device rollout, it's 3 years from now, but when we do it again, so they would have the devices for 8 years, we want to kind of do another impact study and just see how those are going and make sure we want to move forward doing the same thing.
Okay, and Dr. Brian McKinney.
The HR Board Advisory did meet this month. We updated the group on negotiations with 2 employee groups, Lindbergh Association of Health Professionals and Lindbergh Association of Office Professionals. We talked about the current search for LHS Activities Director, and we reviewed the monthly personnel report.
All right, thank you for all those reports. Next on the agenda is action items by consent. Does anyone wish to remove any consent items for individual consideration? Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the May 15th, 2025 action items by consent as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I had a couple questions about some of them. First, I just want to highlight to the community 9.10, our CSIP. I encourage you guys to read what's online. I was so excited to learn about some of it already knew, but to learn about the progress that we've made in the district with certain things, and then also new things that we're going to be investigating. And I want to highlight one, investigating an apprenticeship program. Yay, I think that's exciting. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight that is out there for the community to look at. I had a question about 9.12 student fees. Actually, at the May meeting last year, when I was still trying to figure out, I still don't know everything, of course, this year, but I had a question about student fees. So I appreciate that there was work done looking into that. And I guess I know there are some new ones. And I had a question about the high school activities fee. Is that something that everyone has, or is it just if you are in an athletic, even though it's called an activities fee, is it athletics and who pays that?
For anyone who participates in any type of club or activity, athletics would be included in that. So it's pretty universal. We really encourage our students to be engaged and involved in activities. So this is something we would expect that because we want all students to be included, that all students are also contributing to it, and it helps to fund the different ways that they're recognized and opportunities to celebrate and enhance their experiences.
Thank you, and thank you again for all the work on that too.
You're welcome.
And then the last question is about 9.16. That's, and I can't get that up quickly, but that's approving work done at Concord, Dressel, and Sappington. I just want to confirm that there is perhaps a schedule for some of the other buildings to have that same kind of work done, or what the process is.
Yeah, so this is part of the prop. It's these 3 buildings to get their safety upgrades. So the safety upgrades for the film windows, unless your building is currently under construction or is going to be under construction, that hasn't happened yet. For instance, Crestwood will be done in August, so they will have all the safety upgrades. They'll have the alarm doors, they'll have all the safety film. These 3 elementaries aren't getting a lot of work done, so we wanted to go ahead and get those safety upgrades done as soon as possible. But like Long and Kennerly and Truman and Sparing, that will happen when their remodel happens.
Thank you for explaining that.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay, we had a motion by Megan and a second by Rachel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. I also want to mention that we had 2 monetary donations this month and want to thank Keith and Megan Meyer and Ryan Christian for their donations. Next on the agenda, we have individual action items. We do have one this evening. It's 10.01, approval of the SFE amendment. To open discussion, do I have a motion to approve the amendment of the contract between Lindbergh Schools and Southwest Food Service Excellence, SFE, for July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and authorize administration to enter into this contract as presented?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Jen and a second by Andy. Questions or discussions? Joelle, do you want to speak to it?
This is a standard item we do every year. We did go out for food service bid last year, and this is wrapping up our first year under a 5-year contract. Under that contract, we do have an out every year that's based on service. And then they also have a renewal process where we look at fees, and those are adjusted on an annual basis. So the way it works with SFE is they are a contractor for us. Pretty much we run the whole program. I mean, they run the program, but we pay them to administer and manage it. All of the revenue for food service comes in through district. We reimburse them for all the costs that they output for the program. And then on top of that, we pay them a fee per meal and a la carte item for their resources above and beyond the operation of the program. So the fee did go up slightly. I did note on here the total cost for the entire program, which again is a district program, is 3.9 million is what our food service program is the operating budget is for that. And so this just allows us to pay them next year at the new rate.
Any other questions or discussions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next on the agenda are reports. We do have one report for the record this evening, 11.01.01 Board of Education Agenda Planner. This is for informational only. Board members can direct any questions to Dr. Lake. 11.03 Review of Board Policies and or Procedures. Under 11.03.01, we have a review of board policies DFA, DFA-2, DJFA, GBCBB, IGBCA, and these are all in the first reading. These policies are being presented this evening as a first reading and will be brought back to a future meeting seeking approval. 11.03.02, Review of Administrative Procedures, ADF-AP1, DJF-2-AP1, DJFA-AP1, DJFA-AP2. These procedures are presented for review. Reach out to Dr. Brian McKinney with any questions. Under 12.0, return to closed session. We have already conducted our closed session for business. Therefore, there's no need to return to closed session. So we will move to 13.0 adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn board meeting 1616?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Julia, a second by Andy. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Board meeting 1616 is adjourned.